Hello and welcome back. I'm your friendly neighborhood technician, and on today's exciting episode, the boat anchor. We're going to go over this thing. We're going to see what we can find on the outside that needs to be replaced. Maybe take a few things apart, see if we can get an idea of what the inside looks like. And then, well, also what we're going to do, I'm going to get it mounted up on the engine stand here. I'm going to test the limits of this cheap engine stand that I found on Amazon. And hopefully it holds the weight. And that's, if it does, fantastic. Then we can rotate the engine over, maybe get a peek at the oil pan, see if we can take the oil pan off and get another look inside there. So here we are. This is how it was delivered, sitting here on this pallet. Let's see what we can find that needs to be replaced. I did take off the spark plug wires there, off both sides. I do recommend that if you do something like this, you do number each one according to the firing order, which on Mercedes, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5, 6, 7, 8. So just trace the wires 1, 2, 3, 4 to the corresponding contact here on the distributor caps. And going close to the distributor caps, you can see that this one is cracked right around there. You can see it right there. So this distributor cap will have to get replaced. This right here is also cracked a little bit. So I'm going to transfer that over from the engine that's still in the car. And you can see right here this outlet that's on the water outlet right here, the coolant outlet, that is pretty corroded. So this will have to get replaced. Hopefully when I take off the one that's on the car still, that won't be as corroded as that. And then coming over here, you can see a little bit of cut in that wire right there, but that's just the sheath around the wire. This distributor cap is also broken. You can see it right there. So this cap will have to get replaced. Also, when you're taking off those spark plug wires, some of these will stay on there. So hopefully the spark plug wires on the car can be salvaged. So also right here, you can see this hose that is also super hard. It's all these hoses are going to get replaced also. I have ordered a bunch of parts already, but I can already tell it's not as much as I'm gonna need a lot more. That's broken right there. You can see this part of the harness right here. You can see all these wires. There is no more insulation left on any of these wires. So this engine harness is junk. That'll have to get replaced again. Hopefully the one that's on the engine now in the car won't be in this condition. And then also these vacuum lines that go right here, that is just torn and soft. That'll have to get replaced also. You can see in here, it did not come with the throttle valve or the mass airflow sensor, so that'll have to get transferred over as well. I'll probably replace this oil filler cap here just in case, just because. Let's see here, this right here. On this one, I believe there should be a locking collar that's missing. So yeah, of course, that's this whole harness on this engine is going to have to get replaced. Some of these things, you can see that's a little bent right there. You can see right there that should be squared up. So that'll have to get replaced, probably transferred over from the other one. This vacuum line right here looks like it got pinched. That'll have to get replaced. This outlet right here will have to get, this coolant outlet will have to get cleaned up some. So what's probably going to have to happen, yeah, this one right here too. That's got a bit of corrosion on it right there. That'll have to come out as well. Maybe this right here, this crankshaft, or the crankshaft position sensor, this is gonna have to get, that doesn't look like it's in too good a shape. So hopefully, again, when the other one comes out, that'll have to get replaced or swapped over from the other one. More than likely, I might just get a new one because of the location it is in the back of the engine, and probably won't be that easy to get to when this is in the car. So it's probably one of those things that's gonna be, since it's out, replace it anyways. The flywheel looks all right. And also on this side, I'll probably end up, I'm gonna take these valve covers off, the left and the right side, and take a look inside the valve covers. But right now I'm gonna get it set up on the engine stand, and then probably take these valve covers off, and we'll go from there. Well, what do you expect? This is what happens when you order a engine from a junkyard. Now I have to untie the seat belt that is holding it to the pallet. Well, it's officially off the pallet. Here it is on the cherry picker, but seems this flywheel is in the way, so this thing is going to have to come off. I may have to take off this bracket for the crankshaft sensor as well. Well, here it is on the Amazon's cheapest engine stand. Well, it's 750 pounds, so I think that engine's only weighs about 400. So next step, get off these valve covers, see if we can find anything interesting in there, and see what else needs to be replaced. Definitely going to replace the valve covers. Also inside each valve cover, there are 8 different oil tubes that will need to get replaced. There's 16 total. And that's where we're at so far. I also did find while putting this on there that this lovely bolt isn't exactly in one piece anymore. So it's, see if it'll focus on that. Yep, broken off. So it's gonna need a new water pump, which I was planning on replacing anyways. But it's still, this one bolt and this still held on. Didn't even really bend it much. So bracket's good. I'll have to reseal this. I did get a chunk of parts that I will go through in a little bit. Okay, here we are. I kind of took apart some of the, took the harness off the engine and took off some other things. You can see back here the throttle linkage is no longer attached. I took all the harness off this side and that side just for visibility purposes. So right now we're going to take off this valve cover and we're going to see what we can find. Now you do want to pay attention to where these bolts go, because there's one of these bolts on the valve cover, which is this one right here, and also that's the same one on the other side that is going to be a different length. As you can see, here are the 2 different length bolts. This big long one goes up in that top corner. Alrighty, you can see here the top of the timing chain guide is broken off. There's supposed to be a piece that goes over right here, and also looks like right here you can see where the timing chain may have been contacting the underside of the valve cover, which is not supposed to happen. So we may have a stretched timing chain, and we may need to replace the timing chain and the tensioner. Also, you see these things right here, all these oil tubes, those will have to get resealed, come out. Possibly sometimes they can get, if they're metal, then you can reuse them, just got to replace the O-rings. If they're plastic, then you do have to replace them. They'll just replace them while we're in there anyways, but it looks like, to me, it could be metal. Looks like it's aluminum right there. So that's this side. So we got to find those chunks right there. Okay, here we are. Let's see if we can find the pieces for this timing chain guide. Let's see if I can get a light in there. Oh, there's a piece right there. You can see a piece right there is broken off and is just sitting right there. So That'll have to get removed. See if we can find any other pieces down in there. I'm sure there are other pieces in there. So right now at this point, this is going to have to get replaced. And since this is just crumbling apart, there are pieces probably down in here inside the front timing cover here. So more than likely, this is going to have to get, the front timing cover is going to have to come off. And in that case, the heads are going to have to come off, which then we'll just replace the head gaskets and reseal the front timing cover. We'll have to take all this off. I'll do the front crank seal. And let me get to removing this side, and we'll see how this side is doing. Okay, here's the driver's side. Let's take this apart and see what we can find. Also, while we're here, you can see that mount right here for the air cleaner is broken, so that'll have to get replaced as well. And like I was saying before, you can see the long bolt that goes right there in that top corner. And a moment of truth. Yep, as you can see, this one is also broken. You can see that it's broken off right there. And you can also see right here where the timing chain looks like it was making contact with the underside here. So this will have to get replaced, and looks like there's some kind of corrosion on that cam lobe right there. I don't know if you can see that. That comes off. Looks like a lot of this stuff comes off. Looks like it's just superficial. Yeah, it looks like that's coming off. So that could just be grit from the engine sitting so long at the junkyard or wherever it came from. Also on these, again, these would have to be removed and resealed. Let's see if we can find any more of those chunks. Timing chain guides. Oh yeah, there's another chunk down in here. Alrighty, here we go. And as you can see, down in there, if my phone will focus. Oh, there it goes. Right there. That broken piece of plastic right down in there. That is right there. There's going to be a chunk of that timing guide. So, looks like both the heads are going to have to come off, and all those plastic timing chain guides are going to have to get replaced. Because if this piece right here is broken off, then all the other plastic timing chain guides, like that one that's right down there, those aren't going to be in any better condition. They're going to be just as brittle and just as coming apart, and probably going to break as soon as we start it up. So since we're going to have a lot of stuff apart anyways, we might as well replace it. Okay, so I ordered a bunch of parts, just got a bunch of parts in. Let's see what we got here. As you can see, Mercedes parts. Looks like gasket for one of the valve covers, and spark plug tube seals. So that's good. That's for one of the valve covers. And see here. Here's another valve cover gasket set. Yep, you can see in there. Other spark plug tube seals, the valve cover gasket. Here is the lower oil pan gasket, which is good. I'll need to reseal that because when I did buy it from the gentleman, he was complaining of a oil leak also. And here's one of the timing cover guides. You can see that in there. There's one of them. There's a big one right there. That goes on I'm not sure which side that goes on, but that's one of the big ones. There's a bunch of O-rings. Not sure what those are for yet, but those need to get possibly fuel injectors. This looks like a crankshaft seal. Yep, crankshaft seal. I think this is the rear main, not the front one. No, this is probably your front main seal right there, so I got that also. This is a water pump or thermostat gasket. Thermostat right there. One of the hoses. Another timing chain guide right there. And another one. This gasket goes for the power steering pump. And just a washer or a sealing washer, such as a drain plug or something like that. But this is a little too big for the oil drain plug. Water pump gasket. One of the breather hoses. A bunch of breather hoses here. Another one. Little Y breather hose. More breather hose connection fittings and a ton more O-rings. Another breather hose. Breather hose. Breather hose. Guess what? Breather hose. You never guess what this next one is. Breather hose. Hey, this is a breather hose. And last and definitely not least, looks like another breather hose connection. So those are the parts I have so far, but they're going to need even more parts than that. So next time I get another shipment of parts, we will update that and we'll see what we get next. Well, that's it for this video. Next video, I think we're going to start taking apart the intake manifold. Probably start taking off the heads. Definitely start taking apart all the accessories on the front of the engine, water pump, pulleys, stuff like that. See how much trouble we can get into taking apart taking the front timing cover off. And as always, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and follow me on this adventure. See how much trouble we can get into.